so you need to pick.
We all know who it is.
I'm waiting.
Okay, well, I will.
It's like we don't have favorite children, but we all know we do. We all know who it is.
Okay, just a second.
I'm waiting.
So Molly,
Wait.
okay, guys, hold it.
We don't have favorite children, but we all know we do.
Hold on.
We all know who it is.
Okay, just a second.
I'm waiting.
This is on. Wait.
Okay, guys, hold it.
Wait.
Earl is the host now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Molly's got her hands full now.
With this crew, yeah.
Oh boy. Now would be a good time for you to pick your favorite, Bob.
Yeah.
I've
This is
got
awkward. I don't know what to do.
I've got a line for you now.
Don't worry, Bob. I won't be disappointed. I wasn't the favorite child at my house, and I won't be now.
The only child at my house.
Yeah, and it shows, Earl.
Grant reminds me of that every day.
Fellas, I believe we are now live on YouTube. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know what happened with the technology, but I think you are live now.
Okay, thanks, Molly. Okay, welcome everybody. We'll try this again. Sorry for the confusion. My name is Bob Judd. I'm with Rhodes Villa, and I have my most favorite superintendent, my second most favorite superintendent, and my third most favorite superintendent with me this morning. I had to do that because they wanted me to tell everybody who my favorite is. But I won't do that. I'll just say I'm here with my favorite and second and third favorite. So anyway, we're going to update you on the project, and we're going to see where we are with the 3 different buildings. But I'm going to apologize right now for something you're going to see right there. Uh-oh. Hold on. Forgot to share my screen first. So you guys can chat amongst yourselves here.
I think this might be Casey's Vidal Sassoon commercial. I mean, look at that hair.
All right.
Nobody say.
You guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Apologies for this. It's not supposed to say Roseville Phase 2. Geez, I don't know where I came up with that. Apparently I was not fully in the mode, but this is for Phase 3, not 2. There's a quick shot from yesterday of the 3 buildings, and let's get rolling with Madrona Grove and see where we're at.
Okay. Upper left picture there. It's one of our decks. It looks like it's the one facing the courtyard. You can see our refrigeration units that serve each one of the units down below. We're actually starting to get some Z-girts up there as well. We'll start siding up there here shortly. You can see us doing our shingle siding. Say that 5 times real fast. On the right picture there. Bottom right hand is we're actually starting to run temp heat. So we do have our gas meter set over off of River Road. So we have about 6 of those temporary heat units that we have, and they run off of natural gas. So we're starting to blow heat into both buildings, just to keep the area warm. We are drywalling. Ideally, we want to be above 50 degrees as we're starting to install drywall and taping. So this morning was a little bit cool, as we all knew, with the clouds not going to be overhead, and so we're going to start running heat full time. And bottom left picture is everybody neatly parked up tight to the curb and leaving us a nice clear bike path.
Yes, I walked down through there and I checked it out. There's no complaints there.
Yeah, knock on wood. Hopefully we keep it that way. We have had patrols out there, which was very welcomed. So it's good to have the help and stuff from the county, just making sure that we're keeping those areas clear for the bike riders. Framing inside, we are actually drywalling now on all 3 floors. That there is a picture of the 2nd floor and the 3rd floor of the upper left hand.
Read the caption.
Ah, well, I can see it now. I have my pictures in the way over here of all of us smiling at it. We are drywalling the lid up on the 3rd floor underneath the trusses. So we'll do the vaulted areas here after we get the first layer of the flat area done. But again, it's good to see that we have drywall going.
I wanted to point out too, I don't know that we have any staff members watching, but I'm going to put this picture in the hammer. That upper left corner picture is the staff's new break room. This is one of the break rooms. There's going to be another one down on the, I believe, 2nd or 1st floor, but this is for all staff. It's a really big area, and those double doors, those French doors you see in the background, go out onto a patio. That's also part of the staff break area. So compared to what we have now for a staff break room, this is going to feel like the Ritz.
Yeah, it's pretty nice with the vaulted ceilings, and like Bob was saying, those doors do go out to a paver patio, and that patio overlooks River Road.
Hey, yeah. Earl, Bob, sorry to interrupt, but we are still having issues. It's not streaming correctly. It's streaming to YouTube, but it is not streaming to the correct spot on YouTube. So the residents are not able to watch it. So hold on just a second, or actually just continue on. We're going to record it and I will send out to them later. So keep going and I'll just send out this stream. All right. Sorry about that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll carry on then. Yeah, and then those big windows too. Look out towards the east, and on a clear day you can see Mount Hood.
Yeah, very nice views. And then the offices you can see kind of framed and starting to take shape up there as well. So. 2nd floor. See, I'm learning quick. I'm reading what you put in there for me. Give me some cheat sheets there. I catch on fast. As you can see, we got our drywall on the walls, and we are actually up there today starting to frame the hard lids as we have on the 1st floor. So we have a couple of areas where we're still clashing with some duct. Again, we went through the whole BIM process last week, what we went through with all that work. We still have a couple of small areas, although it could have been a lot worse. Again, benefits of BIM. But we're working through those, and we should have the ceilings framed by the end of the week on the 2nd floor.
Cool. And now down to the 1st floor.
That shows that what kind of was talking about the framing that we do for the ceilings. So we got those in. Now the guys are all going through there doing their rough in after that they get the ceiling. So anything that we have for our HVAC for diffusers and stuff, they're starting to run and set those cans in the lids. We're also having Sprinkler come back through and set theirs, and lighting will be going in as well. Looking for a cover inspection hopefully by the end of this week, and we'll be starting to drywall up there next week.
Talk about that red stuff in that left picture.
That is a fire sealant that essentially we are able to terminate our drywall 1 hour rating to the deck above. So that goes around the perimeter of the units on the 1st floor.
And you use this on any penetration through a firewall, correct?
Yeah, and that one, there are different. So the stuff that we have in the past where you have like a small wire or a conduit or something like that coming through a wall, that's done in a caulking gun. This is actually sprayed with the same type of a spray gun that you see our painters out here using to spray
Oh.
walls and stuff. That's actually a spray applied product.
Cool.
It's all healthy.
Okay. All right, Schroeder.
Shorter loft. Here's some exterior shots. The two upper ones are mainly kind of from the east, looking over at the second floor balcony, all the siding that we've got going on. And then, Bob, that lower one, I don't know if you're highlighting the bush or the photo in that photo, but that is that's from across the street. It looks like.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's from across the street on like kind of the southwest side or southeast side there.
Yeah.
So
I just thought it was
another
cool.
shot kind of.
I just thought it was a cool shot. I wasn't really highlighting anything in particular.
So we're working on the exterior skin of the building, siding. We've got, I think, 5 different types of hardy siding on the exterior of this building. So you can see here, we've been kind of focusing on our vertical lap siding and our balconies. And then we're wrapping that up on the south side, as you see in the bottom left photo here soon. And we'll start transitioning into some of our other types of siding. Interior, Bob didn't give me a cheat sheet, but most of the floors are similar. Upper left one is ground floor. You can see those holes cut out in the plywood. So this is kind of a temp door, and this is where we run our temp heat into the buildings that Earl was talking about before. And then on the right in the bottom photos, we are sheetrocking all floors of Schroeder. You can see on the right and the bottom left a little bit of that framing, that kind of similar condition to what Earl was talking about in Madrona, where we sheetrock the walls. In this case, for Madrona, Schroeder, it's wood frame. We've also sheetrocked the ceiling for fire rating. But now that we've done our MEP, we have a second roof that we are framing in there, our ceiling that we are framing in there that will hide all that wiring, plumbing, piping, and fire sprinkler stuff.
I wanted to show this. You can talk about how this guy's hanging all this grid work that supports the lid.
So what they hang to do, you can see the green line on the wall. They set up a level laser that kind of shoots a nice level line all the way in a room down all 4 sides or a hallway. That's where they will attach their framing on the sidewalls. And then for the lid on the ceiling, it's got slack wires. Basically, it's a aircraft style cable. So the cable that's hung off of a screw that you screw into the framing above, so through both layers of sheetrock, that then hangs down and supports the middle of that framework for that ceiling. Because you only have a hard point attachment at the exterior walls, and then all the stuff in between, you have to have some sort of attachment up to the roof, or the lid, I should say. But I think this is a great photo, Bob. If you go back one, kind of forward one now.
One more?
I like the one you were at. One more forward. This is a good example of how, with the fire rating in Schroeder, how we have to basically sheetrock all the 3 sides of the box except for the floor. And then we come in, shows the orange pipe being the fire sprinkler. You see some duct work and some plumbing piping and some electrical. And then now we're getting to frame a second ceiling, and all that stuff gets covered up.
It's interesting to me, and maybe we can chat about this a little bit. On the fire sprinkler piping, your logical mind would think, well, plastic isn't going to hold up to fire, and then you've got steel out there, and why do they change over to plastic when it goes into the apartments? Do you have an answer for that?
Earl might better. I can't remember all the reasons. There's some code reasons. When you get down to, I think, a certain size, they're allowed to go to plastic. Earl, do you remember all the different? There's a couple different reasons.
It's size. It's sizing, and I think it's building type. So sizing and building type. So all of our mains running through the corridors and up through the stairwells, what we call standpipes, that's all going to be steel. And then once we branch off, those are all called branch lines. They do size down a tad bit, and then as long as we're going into the units, for some reason, those can be plastic. I don't know the exact reasoning behind why, but I know that it's a building type and size requirements for the piping.
I was wondering
It-
if there's less likely to develop a leak on the plastic than the steel. But
I
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And I think that
Mm-mm.
plastic is even a special type of plastic. All of it's
Yeah.
orange.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know if
fire.
it's CP or what it is,
Yeah.
but I think they have some special properties in there, but you just don't have, a lot of it's pressure and,
So
I don't know all of
So
it.
this is a great segue into, I can talk a little bit about an experiment that I did on this pipe a while ago. I was curious about it, and in my brain, I'm thinking, well, this plastic has to hold up to fire. Well, actually, as I thought about it more, it doesn't have to hold up forever against fire. It's just like the walls are 1 and 2 and 3 hour rating. There's a certain amount of time that the pipe needs to hold up and deliver water to allow the occupants to get out. So I was just curious how long a piece of this pipe would stand up to my propane torch. So I took a chunk of it, just started blasting it. And it took probably, I mean, I was blasting it with direct heat. And it took probably 30 minutes before it started to just began to, how do I explain it? Come apart, blacken, and it kind of like
Deform.
Yeah, and deform. But it was amazing how long that it did stand up to the direct heat. And then when I was done playing with it, probably about an hour, about an hour worth of time, it was, and then once it cooled, it was still solid. It was black and alligator, but it was still solid. Don't know that it would hold water or pressure, but
Mhm.
if you took regular Schedule 40 PVC and did the same thing, it would instantly flame. I would, and just melt. This stuff just took the heat, and it was pretty incredible. So I learned a little bit on that one. Anyway, let's move on. Casey.
Surely, yeah, it's kind of interesting to think, with all the different like UL listings and all the different like product kind of tests that they go through for all the fireproofing, that it's probably just as simple as that. Maybe,
Yeah.
with how many there are, maybe just someone just going like, let's just go get a keg of propane, see how long it lasts, But yeah, Trillium. It's a nice shot from across River Road, over on the east side. All the brick is done. It's very exciting. It's a big new facelift to the building. Starting to get sick of that blue. But yeah, the brick looks great. It really does. If you get a chance to walk by, I mean, it's a real looker of a building. And we're doing the scrub and seal today and through the rest of the week. So they have total lay of the land of spraying and cleaning all that stuff up, and expansion joints and everything with their sanded caulk. And on the inside it's sheetrock
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say, if you're getting tired of blue, here you go.
Yeah. Now it's just going to be all white everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, sheetrock. We are making it work with the heaters that we got. Luckily, the buildings are so insulated that it only really takes a couple oil heaters to heat it.
Yeah, it was a sauna when I walked into this unit.
Yeah,
I couldn't wait to get out.
I left 2 oil heaters on over the weekend, and it was 92 degrees inside the building. I have like a small little pocket thermometer that I leave in each windowsill, and one of them was 92 with the insulation and all the doors closed. So kind of just goes to show like how little power you need in these buildings to heat it, cool it.
Back out on the outside here.
Yeah. So this is just a shot of the courtyard. We have all those little scratch trenches are all of our concealed gutter drains, roof drains, recycled cold water, electrical conduit. that's about it. That's just exposed right now. Some area drains, but yeah, looking at in that top left photo, you can see all the conduits come out that then get hooked up and then get connected with Schroeder and Madrona for stormwater, sewer, recycle water, electrical. And the bottom left photo is just a shot of our exterior insulation and batten system and windows and electrical and HVAC penetrations. And some WRB still hanging out. So yeah,
like
waiting to
you
get
and
some
I,
concrete.
like you and I had talked about, I'm gonna have you expand a little bit on that material that you're using on the exterior. What is Gutex?
Gutex, yeah. Nobody ever says it right the first time. I'll say that. They're like goo to what? But it's a product actually I've never used before, but it's a wood fiber insulation board that's exterior rated for moisture and waterproof material that goes on the outside of the building. Gutex is actually from Germany. And they're in the last photo, you can see all of Bremik's rock wool, which is what they're using in some parts in that top left photo. They're green, rigid insulation. We're using the Gutex fiber board because Bremik bought all the rock wool. But the Gutex is a really great product. It's a little bit different, you know, for rigid insulation on the exterior of a building. Most of the time, what installers use, it just looks like a big serrated turkey knife you'd use at Thanksgiving to cut it up or what have you, or score it with a razor knife. But with Gutex, because it is a tongue and groove system, it allows for less thermal bridging, wind chill, all sorts of just like different added extra benefits with the interlocking system. The only downfall is that you have to cut it with a saw, with a skill saw or chop saw or what have you, table saw, dealer's choice. But on the uphand of that, it is highly recyclable. It is just compressed lumber. So it's just pulp and wood shavings that comes out of multiple, you know, byproducts of different wood manufacturing. So it's highly recyclable, upcyclable, and it's also FSC certified, which is again part of the Forest Stewardship Council. That's I'm not sure if it's actually based in the U.S. or if it's a world. I know it's a worldwide organization that covers, you know, anywhere from the Amazon to the Black Forest, the Teutoburg, where Gutex is from.
Yeah, when I looked it up on the internet, it was it looked like a pretty much an international organization or an international company.
Yeah, so FSC has a .org, which is always kind of the teller. They have a .org website, and then they also have a .com. So the .com being the U.S. the U.S. Facing company. Same thing with rock wool. Rock wool actually is a Canadian product, and then they used to have an American version of rock wool called Roxul, ROXUL.
Yes, I remember
but
that.
then it got too confusing and the shipping, and they just changed it all back to the umbrella company up in Canada.
Oh, good lesson.
But like Gutex, Rockwool, both products, we have Rockwool actually just in behind our brick, but Gutex on our hardy cladded side of the building. They have products ranging from below slab, below roof, interior insulation, exterior insulation. I mean, they really cover all the bases and have a really interesting product line, both companies.
And like Rockwool, this Gutex can get wet.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, it's breathable, so it doesn't retain all the moisture.
Cool. Oh, I did have one more slide. Here's some of the key points about Gutex. Yes, that last one. It's made in Germany.
Yeah,
If
our
we were to do a
building is
typical-
definitely all over the place with products ranging from all over the world. Zola is actually a Polish company.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think we're about done. Do we have any other?
I think Casey did a great job. You didn't give him the cheater slide, and I think he hit all those bullet points
Yeah, he
right
did.
on. He knows the
point.
product's going into the building.
That was good. That was good.
We do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
The first is about the insulating, and I don't know how much of this you guys have information on, but the insulating properties of the east-facing windows in Schroeder, or just the insulating properties of the windows, I guess, in Schroeder. And then also if there's a weight limit on the balconies at all in Schroeder. So those are two questions regarding that. And then also another question, or another person asking a question about the earthquake sustainability, what the levels of earthquake for the building can withstand, again, for Schroeder.
Yeah. We've had that earthquake question before. And
Yep.
These guys don't design the buildings. I'll just remind everybody that. They might have some of this information, and if they don't, I'll go ahead and find it and put it in the hammer. But as far as earthquake, that's all in the building code for our region, and it's designed. The buildings are designed with earthquake standards in mind. So I don't know if we can.
The only thing to add to that, Bob, is our earthquake standards are extremely high here. We're right up there with both Seattle and San Francisco, believe it or not, in the Portland area.
Yeah.
They are designed with a higher earthquake, what do you call it, calculator or modifier.
Yeah, and I think anybody could go online and find the Oregon, remind me what it's called, the OSS, Oregon Standard Structural Code. Is that right? Oh, Oregon Standard Structural Code. Building codes. It's the building code.
Yeah.
You can find it, and if you have the persistence to dig through them, because there's a lot of stuff in there, but there are specific codes that deal with earthquake standards that all buildings have, and all new buildings have to abide by. So anybody can find that. It's not specifically unique to our buildings. As far as weight limit for the decks, the balconies, I'm sure there is a weight limit. I don't know what it is. I don't know that it's
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
You have to ask the structural engineer. I'm sure
Yeah.
they're pretty.
Yeah.
They design those usually to take a pretty heavy load.
I'd be shocked if they're not designed twice as what it would take to fill that thing up with the people, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So if you can fit 20 people on there, it's probably designed for 40.
Yeah.
Windows.
I'll look that up, or I'll consult with our structural engineers to find out if there is a weight limit on those and get that in the hammer. What was the other one about the windows?
Yeah, the windows, they are insulated windows. I don't know what the value on them is right now off the top of my head, but we could pull that paperwork. But they were designed and picked for their thermal properties.
So as everybody that's watching probably figure out, when you get into questions specific to design, this is the wrong group to ask. This is the group that just constantly tells the architect, tell us what you want us to build and we will build it. So they're all about specifications and plans and schedules and timetables. So when you want to get into the design, it's okay to forward those questions on to the Hammer or in this venue. That's great. But like I said, I will pick up on it and I will dig into it and find the answers for you. And I don't know that I'll get the answers in this week's Hammer, but I will get the answers. So just stay tuned, reading the Hammer, and you'll find your answers. So do you guys have any other last thoughts, comments, anything unique other than exterior and drywall going on?
We do have
Not off the
You have
top of my head.
Jib Creek coming up here soon. That'll be a little bit different, but
Yay. Still pumping.
Flooding the
moisture
entire
into the
fourth
building.
floor.
Yeah,
A ton of moisture.
still pumping moisture into the building, which you'll have to get out somehow.
Yep.
How about you,
Oh, yeah.
Casey? Things look pretty quiet over there at Trillium yesterday morning when I was there.
Yeah, we're looking for concrete in the coming week or so. So that'll kind of tear loose our cladding partner in all the siding parts of the building on the courtyard and in between all the brick. So that's kind of the biggest thing. Getting that grade brought up was big for us, and getting all the utilities stubbed out. So that's kind of the big push right now, is just getting the concrete done. And in like another week we'll have flooring being delivered for acclimation, because it's the hardwood floor in most of the common areas of each home. And yeah, then off to the races with finishes. I mean,
Okay.
as you know, Earl and Grant, and you surely know, I mean, it's not just one home. It's, you got to do it for them. It's what, 30 in Schroeder and another 30 in Madrona. So I mean, there's always an opportunity to jump ahead in one spot and kind of just keep the flow going. So we're in the same kind of boat. Sheetrock to flooring to cabinets to trim and off to the races. So
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, I guess we're done. I want to thank Molly for helping us behind the scenes, and we'll sign off. We'll see you all next week.